All right, and we're live. Thank you for joining us. This is SampleServe Masterclass Wednesdays. I am Joshua Paul, and with me I have Russell Schindler, CEO of SampleServe. I am Product Manager, Digital Marketing Director of SampleServe. Russell Schindler's got over 35 years experience in the environmental industry. He's a professional geologist. And today we'd like to go over, say hi, Russell, actually, first.
Hello.
There you
35
go.
years. 35 years seems like a long time.
Yeah, he doesn't like me to date him that way. For these masterclasses, we like to bring on some experts in the industry. We like to go over industry news. We like to give you some tips and tricks on our platform, and we like to help you out with getting started. And for new and old users, we like to show you some new features that we've added in the field. So,
and if they have any questions or want to chime in, they can type in a chat down there. And
yeah, anything during the entire show or even after this is over, put something in the chat and we can always get to it. And if you know somebody you think this would be helpful to, send this link over to them as well. Give it a share and a like. And what we cover here is our environmental platform. And today we're going to be talking about drinking water. So this is our SampleENV platform. This has a project management tool, mobile field app that carries over to the lab. There's solutions for the laboratory. And we also have a report graphics generation. But today is special about drinking water testing programs. There's a lot of drinking water testing programs popping up in states that are new, and they're specifically designed to be done digitally, completely digitally. And there's a lot of firms out there that are looking for digital solutions. So Russell, talk about this testing program that we're kind of enhancing. It's always been there, but we're really enhancing it lately.
Yep, we've had some clients that liked our program and wanted us to kind of customize some stuff for them specifically, and so we're really kind of just when we make these customizations, they typically are applicable to a broader audience than just that one customer. So, so the benefit is that there's a lot of like features and functionality there that are going to be great for everybody involved. And there also have been a lot of rule changes, a lot more emphasis, ever since Flint, the water crisis they had there. There's been a lot of rule changes that have been coming down the pipe, and some of them are taking effect this year. Lead and copper, and also PFAS is kind of a newer contaminant that a lot of states are starting to regulate. So, so there's a big emphasis on drinking water, and also people are understanding that the paper process, some people have some really efficient paper processes out there, but it's like saying you have a really efficient horse and buggy, right? So,
great on gas.
It's great on gas. The paper process versus the digital process, there really is just no comparison. You can be way more efficient. You have a great paper process, but it's just not going to be on par with even a mediocre digital process. So we like to think that ours is a great digital process. So because that's really what's going on and what we're talking about.
Yeah, the whole process starts digital with SampleServe. So there's no transferring information from a paper form to any kind of something on your computer. The problem with the paper process is that eventually that data has to be put digitally, eventually somewhere during the line. And why not start digital?
Yeah, so exactly. And not only that, in the digital process, you can make certain fields mandatory for them to enter. And there's other geofencing capabilities and timers, like in drinking water, there's frequently a flush time that's required. We can build in these flush times where they're not able to proceed until the flush time is over. And so all kinds of stuff like that just really increase the quality and simplicity of entering that data.
Right. So we like to highlight some of our current users. Our star user right now for drinking water testing is Antea Group. Antea has a deal with the state of Texas. They're doing over 64,000 samples a year. And Russell, talk about how this process of us helping them digitally has really improved their workflow, because they're not just using us for state of Texas. They're using us, company-wide for environmental collection, like groundwater testing.
Yep, across the board in lots of different states. The for the Texas project. It's there's actually over 7,200 separate municipal utilities that are involved in that. So that 64,000 samples is across all of those separate utilities, and which is from a management standpoint, kind of a monumental task if you're
Yeah.
doing it on paper. So we're able to actually just take a spreadsheet where they've got every system and all the requirements and what they need to test for and what lab those are going to. We're able to upload that one spreadsheet at the beginning of the year, and it just parses out everything into individual sample events for each district and each actual municipal utility. They can even assign individual people,
Right.
individual technicians as the person who's doing that sampling, schedules, appointments. It tells people like, hey, you're supposed to meet the utility manager at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. And so all those details really manages all that. You got to keep in mind, we've been doing this a long time. So when I say doing this, we've been building software for sampling for a long time. So we've had a lot of experience in terms of building and anticipating those types of needs. And then also working with all the different customers that we have, we're able to, like I said earlier, customize something for one client but realize that unique customization is actually going to be applicable to a bunch of other clients as well.
Right. And you kind of realize over time that, everybody's a little different, but if you build it right, you can make that application usable by many different companies and programs and clients.
And the way we build our software is we have the ability to, if you say, you know what, I don't want that feature, we have the ability to kind of turn features off and on for particular customers without having to, create a whole new version of the application.
Yeah. Yeah. Specifically like this TCEQ drinking water program, they're not necessarily using our report graphic generation, but what they really wanted was the sample planning and the project management. And
the app. Yeah.
Yeah, and we improved that. We added a few places for them to add specific types of notes and specific naming functionalities of programs, of projects and stuff like that. And that really carries across the board for a lot of other programs that are similar to this. So when it comes to onboarding newer clients that are doing something similar, we're about 90% of the way there when we're talking with new clients about what their needs are.
And one of the things that they've discovered is the, printing labels in the field right at the time of sampling is really seems to be the way to go for them. I've always thought that is the way to go, having collected a lot of samples myself. Just saves a ton of time, and it just kind of helps increase that accuracy as well.
Yeah. And definitely here's actually I included this picture for that reason. So here's a little graphic that I included with up top is the classic hand cramp that you get from writing on multiple labels throughout the day, bottle labels throughout the day,
and chain of custodies,
and field forms too.
Yeah.
So you're writing all day long, in an uncomfortable situation, but on the SampleServe platform, everything's digital. So you could sign your name on that on the tablet screen, and it prints your signature out on the bottle labels right when you're sampling.
Yeah.
Which we like to say saves them about 20% of their time in the field, but really it can save you up to 40 to 50% of your time.
Yeah. While increasing the accuracy as well.
Right. Yes. So customizations, we like to, we're not really here to, we're not just building software. We already have a platform available for anybody to use for all kinds of different media, soil, groundwater, drinking water. Well, what we do run into with new clients is that they'll have a very specific need, or they'll have a very, very small little ask that they need us to do to complete their entire workflow. And we're always happy to add that in there, especially when it helps out with other clients as well.
Right.
So specifically, like I'd like to mention in Minnesota, they have the MPCA digital data uploads. Now, what they needed was like a regulator ID, because in Minnesota, they have a specific regulator ID attached to every single sampling location in the entire state. And this is a unique identifier. Now, we didn't have that until once they decided to do digital uploads required by the state. We conformed to that very fast. It was within a month or so. We added that regulator ID, so you can put that easily in your data uploads, and you can have those attached to each individual sample location, so that when you're uploading to the state now, it'll recognize and it'll conform to what the state needs, as opposed to, a lot of people were doing that manually beforehand.
Yeah, if you customize, I mentioned you can turn features off and on. Also, features will automatically turn off and on based on like the state that project is in. Like Minnesota is one of them, right?
Yeah.
If you want to upload the data to your project's in Minnesota, well, if you're in Texas, the Minnesota upload feature is just not going to show up,
right?
Just because it's not for Texas, it's only for Minnesota. So
yeah. So we're definitely unique per client based on what you see on our application for a lot of our clients. A lot of clients, a lot of our customers really like us because of the time savings, but they also like us because of the accuracy and their ability to easily have easy compliance with their regulators. The biggest thing is being able to audit what your program is doing and what has happened in your workflow and your employees, what they're doing. So Russell, talk about Antea's need to be able to submit data to the state and how we've been able to manifest these new features for them.
Yeah, it's just not to the state, it's to anybody, right? So,
right.
Once the data is in there, you're able to export it in several different functions. Sorry, you're able to export it in a lot of different functionality or a lot of different formats. Equus is another popular format. We're able to export to Equus, right away. So that kind of functionality to be able to export in lots of variations. We can even create new ones if you've got some other type of functionality. And then the ability to have the data readily accessible. So literally moments after you're done in the field, it's available for use by the project manager back in the office. One of the common misconceptions that people have is that digital data is more vulnerable to being missing, being essentially misplaced.
Right.
And the reality is digital data is actually hard to get rid of. Once something goes digital, and we've all had this, posts, on Facebook or wherever that you wish weren't there anymore, or text messages.
Right.
The reality is, and data is no difference. Once that data has been collected on your device or pushed to the cloud, it doesn't just blow away in the wind like a piece of paper would.
Right.
It actually is there. And, you can push it to a lot of different places, and you have to literally work hard to delete it. So digital data is not really that vulnerable. And if you're looking for compliance, it's there. You can, modify it if need be, but it's technically what's called an immutable database. So you can correct things, but you can never just overwrite them so that they've never, like if I spelled your name wrong, Josh, I can actually go in and correct the spelling of your name, but it'll have a record that I once spelled your name wrong and then I corrected it from that point on. So, so that's the kind of thing that the big misconception in terms of digital data. It's actually more secure, more transferable and reportable than any kind of paper data. And as you mentioned earlier, paper data all ends up getting turned into digital data eventually.
Yeah.
The big question is like, why? Why are you putting it on paper in the first place if you ultimately want it in a digital format?
And I want to highlight the user satisfaction, improved user experience and satisfaction. One of our hardest hurdles, our biggest hurdles when we're getting clients to start using our applications is their previous experience with other applications. It's not their hesitation to go digital. It's the fact that they've already tried to go digital in the past. They've used, either form builders or other applications that aren't completely suited for what they're doing, and
Yeah.
they've had bad experiences. So
Yeah.
they're kind of, once bitten, twice shy with digital data collection. So
I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody go, "Oh, we already use a tablet for collecting data." It's like, it's not the same. It's kind of comparing like Pac-Man video games to like modern video games. They're just
right.
night and day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, so you played Pac-Man, like
Yeah.
a little different than,
Right. Because
I'm not really a gamer, but what are
yeah.
some of the popular games right now?
Oh, I don't know, Call of Duty or something,
Call
but
of Duty, right? So it's like Pac-Man compared to Call of Duty. It's like
right.
it's just not comparable anymore.
It's because our platform is completely suited and tailored to environmental professionals, drinking
Right.
water, groundwater, soil, and some of these other applications, they're built for, pretty much every
Whatever.
application there is out there,
Yeah.
So we're specialized. And so getting started, how do you like from Antea's start to, where they are now, Russell, explain the process of what somebody would go through if they wanted to use SampleServe.
Well, the first thing is just, try it out. You don't have to commit to, putting all your projects into the system. Try it out. Try it on one or two projects. See how easy it is to upload. The first couple of projects are usually take the longest because there's a little bit of a learning curve there. We try and make that learning curve as smooth as possible, but there is an element of time investment to get your projects in there. By investment, I mean 3-4 hours, and you're going to be proficient in getting projects in and using the system. After 3-4 days, you're going to be an expert at it, and you'll be training other people in your company. So that's really the process, is just dedicate yourself to getting 1 or 2 projects in there, and then from that point on, they become really, really simple and quick to get projects in there, and quick for setting them up and sampling.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, it's just the project setup. And anybody can go onto SampleServe.com and start an account right now with no cost, and they can get a project in there and try it out.
Yep.
It's really just uploading sample locations or adding sample locations and planning a sampling event and transferring it to your field app, going out and collecting data, and then see how that workflow, is similar to what you're doing right now. If it improves, and what you would like to see improved, and if you'd like to see any new features that you need, maybe there's something that you're not able to collect, or there's an export function that you're not that you need specific from us. Maybe even like an API upload that automatically sends your field data somewhere else into a database, maybe the state, or maybe an Equus database or something like that. We can always get that set up and customized for you very easily and very fast. And that's what we're doing for a lot of clients right now.
And generally, I don't mean to stereotype, but generally the younger people are more enthusiastic about going digital and getting things started. So if you are looking at, getting something going, find somebody to volunteer to, be the guinea pig to do this. And generally they're going to be younger people who have grown up, digitally, versus old guys like me that had to learn it, over time. So,
yeah. Because they use digital tools for everything else in their life, and they kind of expect it nowadays to be using it in this type of area too. Yeah. So if you really want to get a good understanding of what our platform does and can accomplish, you can go to our virtual tour on our website. It's right at the top there. Click virtual tour. It'll take you about 20 minutes to get through, and they're broken up into individual small videos, and it'll really give you a good rundown of what our capabilities are and why we're here, and what you can accomplish using our software. So I really suggest anybody slightly interested, go and take the virtual tour, and you'll have a great understanding of what we can do. And you can always sign up for a live demo on there as well.
Yep.
And we'll be happy to get you going.
Yep.
So I think we've made it 120. There we go. We're on time, Russell, for the first time in a long time.
Beautiful.
So yeah, thank you for joining us, and make sure you give this a like and a share, and definitely add any comments to it. Well, we always look at these afterwards and respond to comments and stuff. So we'll see you next week is 4th of July, so we're gonna see you after that. So in 2 weeks we'll see you guys for another masterclass.
All right.
So thank you guys.
See you.